live in places. And I'm gonna add everyone on the Discord. And checking YouTube. Seeing if we're live on YouTube. My channel.
Like yesterday?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, we're live.
Oh, baby, we live.
Oh, we so live.
We so live.
We are so live. This is the most live we've been all week.
most live I've been my whole life.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I can actually lower that down quite a bit. I'm back down to 12.
Darn it.
But anyway. So anyway, yeah, we are live. So, welcome everyone to the Social Otaku. This is episode 10. We are finally bringing it back. If you are not aware of what the Social Otaku is, it's my more serious podcast, in which we will be going over things that I do in charisma coaching, socialization, any kind of more serious social related topic, I guess, community related, interaction related, and today it's going to be dating related because we're going to go over online dating because, well, it is in fact quarantine at this point, so there's no other kind of dating. And with me today I do have my lovely girlfriend Sierra, who will be my co-host today.
Hello. Hello. I'm just chugging coffee right now.
Yeah, we both have coffee. If you ever hear funny noises like...
Oh, not that. Oh my god. No. We are not ASMR right now. We're not doing that.
And I don't believe we have very many viewers right now, and so the bot has beat Bagels to the punch.
Ooh.
Ha! So Bagels, when you watch this back later, just know that the bot got one up on you. Again. This is a pattern recently, Bagels. I expect more from you.
Gosh, dang it, Bagels.
So, I know that you're starting to do more online on social media and YouTube, so where can they find you?
So you can find me on YouTube at WhatSierraStreams. I usually just stream video games. So PS4 especially. I have Xbox One, but I'm not on Xbox a lot because I don't have a lot of games for it. I have more of a bigger library for PlayStation 4. However, I'm going to be anyone who's in quarantine right now, pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
If you're playing Animal Crossing, I receive my Animal Crossing in about a week. So if anyone wants to DM me on their Nintendo codes or, you know, want to share some things off their island, I will be playing that religiously. And ignoring Josh, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And I will be here for the entirety of quarantine since I can go nowhere else. So just a heads up, we are kind of right next to a highway, and at least for today, it's still fairly busy. There are a few grocery stores around, so I imagine it's going to be at least a little bit busy, but just in case you hear things.
And we're in Texas, so as of today, we're going to be pretty much in quarantine at around 11 o'clock tonight.
Yep.
I know everyone else has a stay-at-home order at the moment. Jeez. I never thought this would happen, honestly. I see it in movies and I'm like, oh,
that'll never happen to me.
That's not gonna happen. Toilet paper's out. It's like, when you need
Oh no, everyone's coughing. Get the toilet paper.
Exactly.
So anyway, like I said earlier, today's topic will be social media relationships or just online relationships in general.
Yeah.
So where were we going to start with this? I know we have a list here. We're all organized and stuff. Well, yeah. I blame her. I'm pointing to her.
Yeah, I'm very organized when it comes to these things. I got it down to a science.
Science!
Well, no, there's a lot to cover. I mean, anything, honestly. Well, since we're talking about online social media dating, we can talk about that plethora of apps that are provided.
Hello, Katrina. I see that you have now commented on our YouTube video. Thank you for coming to our podcast.
Hi, Katrina.
So anyway, first topic, social media dating world. I mean, we are in quarantine, so sometimes the only way you can meet new people or start relationships is online.
Yeah, and there are a lot of apps. Tons of apps. Like, so the basic ones we have Tinder, we have Bumble, OkCupid, which is where Josh and I met.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have what I found on Google. Basically, the top apps that we have are Tinder, Bumble, OkCupid, Hinge, Plenty of Fish, Clover, Grindr, eHarmony, Match.com, JDate, Farmers Only. If you're looking for a country girl or country man,
or a country road to take you home.
Yeah, to West Virginia.
Mountain Mama.
It'll take you home.
Country road.
Also, also these apps we're not sponsored by any of them. I just want to put that out there.
Although we will accept money.
Yes. Oh yes. And also, whenever Bagels gets on, there's an app called Coffee Meets Bagel. I don't know how that app's work.
Bagels just came on.
Oh, here we go.
Bagels, good timing. We were just going through a list of dating apps, and one of them is called
Coffee Meets Bagel.
All right, so find yourself a girl named Coffee, and you're golden, man.
I'd be racking in some sponsorship on that one. But yeah, there's basically the main ones that I've seen people use the most is Tinder, Bumble, and OkCupid. I sometimes see Plenty of Fish, but to me being on there before, it's more, I guess, have you been on Plenty of Fish?
No, for some reason I keep thinking of it as like one of those like 40 and over type dating apps.
Yeah, I mean, and there are people on there in my so I would say mid-20s up into 50, in the 50s kind of age bracket. I think that's good.
Yeah.
I've only used it a couple times. Didn't work out for me, but OkCupid did. That's where I met Josh.
Hooray!
So a lot of people don't know that me and Josh have been together for about... We're going to be in this quarantine till April 13th, so April 3rd would be...
Our 4th month.
Yeah, our 4th month. Yeah. And he made the first move.
Yes.
I made the first swipe, but he made the first move. And if any of you guys don't know what OkCupid is or what it offers, and like I said, it's not sponsored. With OkCupid, it kind of has that somewhat of a Tinder vibe, but with a twist. With OkCupid, it has an About Me section, what you like, a lot of questions you can ask and make paragraphs on, your interests and what you like to do. You can add pictures, but there is also a compatibility test. When you sign up on OkCupid, you start with about 15 questions. With those 15 questions, it will take you to a good chunk of who you want to swipe left or right for, and it gives you a percentage. And I remember being on OkCupid and seeing ours, I think, was 97%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool. And a lot of times when it comes to these dating apps, I suggest OkCupid, but everyone else is different on what they pick and what they like. You can download all of them and kind of, explore. That's just the beauty of having options. What did you like about OkCupid? Besides me.
Well, I mean, that gets the most obvious out of the way. So I really liked that you could actually look into what other people are like, not only their likes and dislikes and kind of how they write things, but also just kind of how much effort they put into it in general. Like you see how many questions they answered. You see, which things they actually answered in their little paragraph section.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about it too, because I would get people that had 100% or 99%. I didn't base off of that percentage. I would also look at their About Me section. And Katrina also found her partner, her fiance, they met on OkCupid as well. That's where she found love.
Ah, yes. Young love. So nice to see in children these days. Bagel says, I don't know about dating apps depending on how Corona affects Japan. I might just wait for their waifu vending machines. That's fair.
Yeah.
She was doing online vending machines earlier to try and get me a waifu as well. I get it.
I was. Those little game like claw machine apps. I'm obsessed with those. And they need to just not be on those. And then, I liked OkCupid because I remember, actually, fun fact, I was about to delete my OkCupid.
I mean, honestly, I was kind of at that same place myself when we first met on there.
Yeah, we talked about that because I just remember last couple years I've been in a dark place, and then I was just kind of going out in the dating scene for all the wrong reasons. I was just trying to find comfort for myself more than like finding love, I guess, or relationships. I was just more trying to filling a void, because a lot of people don't know I was in a relationship 2 years ago. I was in the relationship for about 7 years. Was my high school sweetheart. We split. Still good friends. We split. We made an agreement on it that just wasn't working out. But it was really weird for me getting back into dating after that many years, because we were dating from high school up until our late 20s, and getting back into these apps, which I had no idea what OkCupid was, Bumble, Tinder. I remember being on Meet Me, which was back then my yearbook. That's where I was on back in like when I was in like high school, because it's more of a, to me, that Meet Me is kind of like a teenage and early 20s age bracket. From what back then, I don't know how it is now, so no one quote me on it, but no, I liked it. Yeah, I got back in the dating, and I was about to delete my OkCupid, and I remember going on there after taking a break from being on social media on my phone. I saw that Josh messaged me, and he like paid attention to my profile. We saw the compatibility percentage. We talked for hours up until 7 in the morning, until I had to go to work. I didn't sleep that whole night. We just clicked instantly, and we actually dated a day later. It took 48 hours, and we were dating. And that's kind of a big first for me, honestly.
Yeah, it's the fastest I've ever gone from meeting someone to like actually dating them, including people I meet on these apps. I'd go on one date, but that's just a date.
Yeah, and I've made friends on OkCupid as well. I made some really good friends, and I still talk to them as all the time. It's fun.
I'm just trying to, because I forgot to share this to Facebook. I'm just trying to copy. Why Twitter are you being a butt? Well, anyway, just so you know, by the way, if this goes down on YouTube and it just kind of cuts off, we might still be live on Twitch or DLive, but YouTube's been having problems recently, just a heads up, you can find either on DLive or Twitch. You can find me at Josh in the Shell, and we're multi-streaming, so it should be live in all those places. But it looks like we're up on all three, just saying, since everyone seems to be on YouTube right now.
Yeah. And I don't think we mentioned, we do have a Facebook group now for the Social Otaku.
Oh, yes.
So, if you're friends with us on Facebook as well, you can also reach us to our personal page. Especially me. You can reach me to my personal page. I'm an admin for the Facebook group, so I'll be kind of updating and showing like when we're going to have another podcast and whatnot.
Yeah. So we do also have a Discord community, which was the first community I really tried to boost up for both my channel and to make just for people just coming into this podcast. The Social Otaku Discord community is kind of my place for people of any backgrounds, anime nerds, gaming nerds, just people who feel like they need a place to belong. Everyone can belong at the Social Otaku, and we are very welcoming to everyone. Thank you for the DLive donation, by the way, Bagels. So that is a good place that you can talk to me, that you can meet with other people, start socializing, and all that kind of stuff. And the Facebook group is something I probably should have done earlier, but it took Sierra mentioning it to me for it to click that I probably should have a Facebook group as well. So, same purpose for the Facebook group. It is for everyone to come by for a place to feel welcome and to help improve their own social skills. They can give advice, they can ask for advice. Just anything you want, definitely join us on Facebook, Discord, or both.
And the reason why I mention Facebook groups is because they're getting more popular now. Yeah. It's kind of more groups, because I'm in a bunch of like cat groups. I'm in a lot of like music groups, especially the cat group. It's called This Cat is Chunky, and my cat, I have two cats, and I'm constantly sharing pictures like, have you seen my cat? Look how chubby my cat is. Isn't it beautiful? I'm always on there.
Oh, you also get a bonus 50% greater chance of being waifued by Bagels. That is true.
Also, I want to welcome someone on Twitch, and it is Steven. And Steven is... Steven
with a PH. Steven.
So actually, coming back to the whole relationships and being friends with, your former significant others. Steven, who is actually in this chat right now, was actually the person that I was dating for about 7 years. And a lot of people can't, say that they're still friends with their ex. And yes, Katrina, it is Newt. He had a nickname named Newt.
Yeah.
And that is his nickname.
Someone turned him into a newt, and he still has not gotten better.
The COVID virus made him into a newt.
Welcome to the quarantine special, everyone. We're 16 minutes in, and I don't care.
We are here.
But yeah, so, anyway, with all that out of the way, so we talked about what we liked about some of those.
Basically, in general, we like OkCupid, and for us, we recommend you give it a try.
Yeah.
I like it.
And did we cover Bumble at all? I don't think we did.
We didn't cover Bumble, so I was gonna let you kind of take over, because Bumble, I haven't been on. I did it like once, and was like, eh.
And even though I still have Bumble, it's not as helpful as I hoped it was, but yeah, essentially Bumble has 3 different versions. You can use it for dating, you can use it for I think it's Bumble BFF, which is where you just meet new friends, and then Bumble Biz, where you can like put out your resume and say that you're looking for a job. You can say you're looking for employees. You can do which is what I'm on there for, is just more networking kind of stuff. And
that's
yeah.
a good question, Bagels. Friends with an ex? How is that possible? It's very possible. Goodness. I wish actually Steven was here to be like in the microphone. I'm gonna have to like take over. Honestly, Steve and I have known each other for 14, I'd say 14 years. 14 or 13. We dated in 2011. We broke up 2018. It's just a part of, I'd say, with our relationship in general, we got to a point where we were depending on each other and weren't being independent for ourselves. And we wanted to kind of go and, find ourselves again. And unfortunately, there was, something personal and tragic that happened in Steven's life that kind of threw his whole life in a loop, and mine as well. And we just got to the point where, mutually we talked with each other and we were just, unhappy how things were going and how we kind of couldn't communicate anymore as we wanted to. And we made a decision to break up, and we lived with each other until I moved to Texas. I lived in Oregon for 15 years, and that's where I grew up. But we just, we felt that we were better off as friends, and the more that we communicated as friends, it got better. When we were dating, we were kind of more at each other's throat than we were getting along. And I think Steven can agree with me on that as well. I know he can agree with me.
Yeah, that was a really good question, Bagels. Who, as always, is on multiple streams at once. And Bagels, I have a question, seeing as you are having fun with the emotes. I tried setting up a thing on Twitch. Does it do the thing with the emotes, like, going all over the screen? Or did I not? Because I might have disabled that, and I don't remember if I disabled it or not. Maybe? Possibly? I know there's like a 20-second delay, by the way. It does not. Okay, so I'll look at that at some point. But anyway, yeah, so one of the nice things about Bumble is it does have verification. So if you put up not a real picture, it will check on that. And at some point, I am actually looking to verify my Bumble Biz to see if that helps out a little bit getting verified by submitting a selfie, and then they match that selfie to the pictures that you have on Bumble. So there's a lot more security on Bumble, and it also kind of forces you to make the first move on your maybe if I use emote, YouTube would not like. Oh, okay. I'm going to pretend I understood that grammar and move on, Bagels. But yeah, there seems to be a lot of people using Bumble, but for both of us personally, we haven't had much success with meeting anyone with any kind of lasting relationship on Bumble, whether that's dating, friendship, or business. But it is a really good app, so I do like it for that, at least.
Yeah, and what I've noticed about Bumble, me being on there, it's the app where if you match with someone who's liked you, you have to make the first move. So you have to send them the message first. And a lot of times when it came to that, I've noticed in Bumble bios that they're like, I'm socially awkward, I don't have really kind of confidence, and I might message you first, or I might be short messaging back because I'm just too awkward. I was the same way, because I would, I'd have the confidence to say that. I'd just say, ooh, nice shirt, or you're really pretty, and just kind of leave it at that. Especially with Bumble BFF, I was trying to network and meet people here out in Texas because, you know, all my friends live back home in Oregon, and I wanted to kind of, you know, have that friendship circle again, some kind of like foundation of that. I haven't found it. I do live with 2 of my best friends here in Texas, and I've known them for quite some time. But you know, I'm comfortable and I'm content with who I'm friends with. You know, I just feel like I don't need to have to like go out and search, but I do miss like sleepovers and you know, calling my friends and having that time. And I know that being in quarantine, I'm gonna have all the time.
Yep. Is there anything else we wanted to
And
say?
Katrina says, "Hey, AJ and I might move to Texas. Also, Katrina is my best friend. As I'm going to introduce her now. That is Katrina. I've known her for 15 years. She's practically my sister, basically, from another family, and we're best friends, but we butt head as sisters. We're pretty much sisters." But hey, if you do move to Texas, move to, you know, our area.
Yeah.
And just hang out. We'll have a barbecue.
Yeah.
Right now it's a balming 89 degrees here in Texas.
Yep.
I'm not used to that, it being, you know, March. That's not something I'm fond of. I wish I can go out and tan, but there is a quarantine effect.
Yes.
And I'm not happy about it. I'm going to get cabin fever. I actually told Josh that I need to step out and get fresh air at least one time this quarantine. I might lose it.
So, yeah. I completely lost my train of thought, so I apologize.
It is okay. That's what the coffee hasn't kicked in yet.
Work faster, coffee.
And Bagels might visit Texas this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks doesn't sound fun, but we live in Texas, and right now it's spring. I'm just gonna say it's summer already. So
Yeah, we have a few weeks of spring before summer, and you know, winter was a little shorter this year, so it's pretty much summer now.
Yeah.
Although, really, the Texas summer is much hotter than this.
Yeah. This will be my second summer in Texas.
No, Bagels, we need Texas oxygen to survive, not normal oxygen. The oxygen is clearly better here. It's somehow it's slightly bigger. More space between the electrons.
We live in United States, Europe. That's what I call it. You can visit. Oh, actually, you can. Can't you visit Europe and Texas? There's Paris, Texas, London, Texas.
There's Venice.
Venice.
Yep. There's Dublin.
Oh yeah, there's like a meme with you can take a European vacation in Texas.
And it's, interestingly enough, almost the same size as continental Europe.
Huh.
So, you know, you come here, you're coming to Europe, but without the EU. Thank God.
All right, well, I think we should get on the next topic, which is this one's a doozy. This is Tinder.
Oh boy.
AKA, I call it the hookup site. The hookup app.
And that's really how it's designed too. When you look at it in comparison to these other apps, where you know you've got detailed paragraphs, you've got all these compatibility questions, and then there's Tinder.
Yeah, if you're looking to have a sweet honey next to you during quarantine, or just, I don't know, whatever floats your boat, just the Tinder's the app for you. You need someone to hold you tight at night. And other things, Tinder. When I was in a dark place, Tinder.
Tinder.
Was not proud of it. I do not like Tinder. I think for me, Tinder was more. I could tell through body language when I meet people off of Tinder. I knew exactly the number one thing they wanted, which was a sexual connection, and then I was like, ugh. Every time I go on a date, I'm like, oh god, really? Like, I gotta go. Or, you know, my roommate, Robin, I would tell her, hey, can you come pick me up? I'm scared. Like, I need to go. Send her an emoji. She'd be picking me up really quick. If I couldn't get out of the situation, like, oh, I gotta take a Lyft or an Uber home. Oh, I gotta leave. My house is on fire. Not really. I just gotta go.
Yeah, I was on Tinder for maybe like 10 minutes, and I was like, you know what? This seems stupid. I don't like it. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And I deleted it.
And I mean, and when you're on these dating apps too, we're not saying that you'll meet someone and fall in love with someone on these apps. This is kind of a way to branch out. You might meet someone through their mutual friends or through their circle. You might meet someone through work. You might meet someone just while you're out with your friends. You know, just things like that.
And Bagel says he doesn't understand the compatibility questions. I feel they don't really dig deep enough or are too general to really matter. Then again, I haven't been in a relationship before. Hard to relate with. I have no life, kinda. Well, with the compatibility questions on OkCupid, for example, like,
and I can pull them up too.
Yeah, and a lot of them are very general, but it to me, I'm a very analytical person, so I really appreciated that about OkCupid because it allowed me to essentially do the math in my head. You'll find things that if you don't care about it, you skip the question, or if it's not that important to you, you say only a little important. And it's not about the questions themselves per se, it's about the whole picture that all of these questions pose, because it's not just like a number. You don't just see the 97% and go from there. You can go onto their profile and you can see which questions, as long as it's not made private, you can see which questions they agreed with you on, you can see which questions they disagreed with you on, and you can see which questions they answered but you didn't yet. And you can use that to maybe answer some more questions and see if that changes the percentage. And you can kind of go through and see, okay, the things that they agree on, is that going to work for me? The things that they don't agree on, is that going to work for me? Because you might see some things like, oh, they like this too, but they don't like people who do this thing that I do.
And I could bring up a question, so let's bring up, here's one. Which of the following types of intelligence do you value the most? And there are 3 questions. Logical/mathematical. The second one was social/ interpersonal. I'm copy. Then there's the third one, visual artistic. And it'll say the answers, the second part is the answers you'll accept. So if you are looking for someone who answers, let's say that you're looking for someone who answers the interpersonal, social, and visual artistic, you can choose both of them, or you can choose all 3. And then there's also a bar at the bottom that says importance, a little, somewhat, or very. And then it's optional if you want to explain your answer on why you've chosen this.
So with this one, I think on our little, because we have like a little fake profile set up on OkCupid just for the sake of this podcast, basically. For hers, she put acceptable answers as all 3. For me, I think when I did that one, I put mine as, of course, logical, mathematical. And then answers they'll accept, I put logical, mathematical, and visual artistic. It's not very important to me, but...
when I was on there, I put all 3.
Yeah. And you can go through all sorts of questions like that. It's anything from politics to music to, what kind of personalities do you like?
And I do have to say, if there's anyone out there of your fans are part of the LGBT plus community, right now OkCupid is working on um, letting you view both genders or all the genders in general from the community. But right now, if you want to, when you're wanting to date or who you want to see or swipe on, it's either right now male or female. But with Bumble and Tinder, you can view everyone of the gender. And it gives you the choice on what your gender is and what your sexual orientation is as well.
Yeah. And that's also something really important to note about online dating is you will find all sorts. And you also need to figure out if someone is comfortable having a relationship with you, are you comfortable having a relationship with them, and can you tell? And vice versa, you might be interested in them, but they might not be interested in you for all sorts of different reasons. Could be gender, they might not be into your gender, depending on how you meet, that might come into play. It could be your just something as simple as your taste in music even.
Yeah, there's also choices on OkCupid as well. If you are monogamous or poly, there are couple profiles as well. So if whatever you're into, you can to me, like, OkCupid is a good in-depth site. You can go on Tinder and Bumble, because I know I've seen couple pages is there too. But I would also be careful. If just kind of educate yourself, non-monogamy or poly.
Yeah, and that's one thing I will say. I don't want to go too deep into any specifics on monogamy or polyamory or anything like that on this podcast, because I do want to do some in-depth research and come back with a video essay in the near future about that kind of thing, not making a conclusion on it, but just kind of putting out the education material of the pros, cons, and ways to tell where you fit along those lines, because it can be kind of hard to tell. But if that's something you're interested in at least looking into, as with everything on the internet, not just dating, as with everything on the internet, do your research first, because the internet, not to get too deep into the tangent I could definitely go on with this topic, but the internet is a very, very easy tool to accidentally abuse and put yourself on a very, very bad path. And that could be self-destructive, or that could be other people harming you in other ways. And so always educate yourself and make sure that you know what you're looking for and that you're going to do the right thing for yourself.
Yeah, and same with educating yourself too when it comes to like reporting profiles as well on these sites. When you see red flags, or if you actually go on these dates and you feel that it's just you're not in a comfortable headspace, or you're just not comfortable in general, always report it. Same with catfishing. There are when you report on any of the dating sites, it'll show, why are you reporting this? This person is not saying who they are, and they look into that, and they do take that seriously on removing those profiles.
Yeah, I'm very pro feedback on everything, which is why I'm so, when Lyft and Uber became a thing, I was really excited because it was just that live interactive feedback. When YouTube came up with the system on ads where you could say I did or did not like this ad. I love feedback, and there's all sorts of feedback you can get and give on sites like this. Bagels. Oh, I used to be a catfish. I catfished for like 5 years. Oh my god, bagels. No.
Bagels.
I mean, technically we're catfishing.
Yeah, we shouldn't talk. Yeah, we're catfishing.
Just for research purposes, mind you. But yeah. So I think that's pretty much
It's pretty much
dating
it.
apps.
Yeah, when it comes to dating apps. I mean, since we're quarantined, we'll go back to where Josh and I have only been together for 4 months, and he's going to be with me for 2 weeks.
Yep.
What have we learned in the past 4 months about each other? Because it's still touch and go for both of us. We're still learning about each other, and recently we've kind of had just a little roadblock.
Yeah, and what I found most interesting was the only 2 times we've ever done any sort of fighting has really been because there's a barrier, because we're just on the phone. And we can tell that that's kind of the problem. There's no bodily communication, there's no there's only a limited amount of nonverbal communication.
Yeah, and that's how it kind of bringing up long distance and being away from your significant other during this quarantine, because you have to stay home or you have to work, so you're not able to see each other. And I've known that there's a lot of anxiety, and I've seen my friends and I've seen other people on social media that they're freaked out, they're scared, they're getting cooped up in their house, cabin fever is kind of kicking in. There's a lot of animosity, a little bit. And, just for me, it's what we've had to learn, that when we're away from each other, there's a lot of things that's out of both of our controls. So we just have to, make things work and sit down, breathe for a moment, and just kind of, have that talk.
Yeah.
Because I know, sometimes I have generalized anxiety disorder, so I'm very, if I get into a bad headspace, it's hard to get me out. But Josh is learning, and ever since I've been with him, I'm now slowly learning that for myself, teaching myself that there's only so little that he can do if he's away. Same with my friends. I can vent to my friends, but there's so much little that they could do as well. All they can do is just hear me vent, and that's it. And in a way, that's all I ask for. And I'm slowly learning. It's just the last couple of years it's been rough for me, technically, mentally, and physically, but now that I'm slowly learning and researching and educating myself with everything that's happened to me the last couple of years, and having Josh here too is helping.
Yeah, but it was fun being a lesbian daughter of a Japanese porn star with dissociative identity disorder who's only allowed to play one game on the internet. I don't know how people believe that.
Oh, Bagels.
Trolling is the best. See, that's honestly, Bagels, that's not really catfishing, that's trolling.
Yeah.
There is a very distinct difference, which will all be in my book, The Magical Power of Memes and the Science Behind It. Which that title is pending, but the book is actually genuinely very real. I'm actually writing a book about memes. But anyway, but yeah, catfishing is doing it seriously. Trolling is doing it because you think it's hilarious.
From what I learned, you'll know the signs.
Yeah.
You really will, and sometimes they really add that twist of They'll bamboozle you real quick. I've seen some bamboozling.
Heckin' bamboozled.
On my end, when I have some dating app horror stories, and
oof.
Yeah, we got those, but I know everyone has one.
Yeah. Anyone who's ever used a dating app will have some kind of horror story. The level of horror is kind of, hit or miss.
Yeah, I've had one where it became it became a stalker issue. That's when I was on Bumble. So I took that, reported that profile, and just said, explained to Bumble's reporting app that I went on a date with this person, because they wanted in depth, because they wanted to make sure that, do they want to keep this person on their site? Do they want this person to, find a next victim, basically.
Mhm.
So I went ahead and...
Have you seen, I think it's College Humor's catfishing skit?
I have not, but we will look that up later.
I mean, if we have time, we might look it up on stream.
Then we have 13 King Style. Says, good luck on the book, Josh.
Thank you, King.
And also welcome. I think we didn't say it before, but we know you've been commenting, so welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, we had quite a few comments to get through when you first commented, King.
So we apologize.
We do appreciate your...
Yeah, but anyways,
commenting.
Yeah, so anyways, I wrote in depth just a paragraph that I was being stalked and it was dangerous, and they got back to me within the next 2 business days and said, hey, we removed the profile, and if anything else comes about, please contact like local police.
Yeah.
So, and that's, you know, I didn't have to go that far, thank goodness, but the message was sent.
Yeah.
What other topics do you got? I feel like I'm talking a lot.
Well, I mean, I feel like you have a little bit more more to say about the dating apps themselves, in all honesty.
Yeah, well, with catfishing, like I said, you'll know if you're messaging them and you're like, oh, let's chat over the phone, or let's video chat, and there's like a big an excuse that's kind of, you know that it's sketchy.
Yeah.
You can, you know, probe more questions. But if you feel like gut feeling, it's bad news, report it.
Yeah, definitely. Report it before it becomes a real problem, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
But don't report on a whim. You're just like, oh, I think this might be catfishing, and you have no idea why, and you don't probe to make sure. That could genuinely hurt someone. So be careful either direction you're going on that one.
Yeah. And any site doesn't matter, even dating sites. There's chat rooms. There's, you know, I would say even, I know that there's chat rooms for like porn sites, and we'll say I think there's like OnlyFans and just stuff like that. When Snapchat premiums, I know that there's a lot out there, and I'm not saying that, you know, that stuff's bad. Like, if you got to do what you do, like sex workers, you do what you do to make your money. But if you feel like, you know, that's where you're going to get premiums from men or women or any gender, and you feel like something's sketchy, and they're wanting more of your bank information, or hey, you can go buy me this or do that, or then that's on any chat room for any specific thing. You just want to go, no, yeah. King says, aka stranger danger.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, that's pretty much. To always report before it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Report before you get hurt, but not before you're at least mostly sure, I would say. But speaking of these kinds of interactions, we do have our second topic with body language in text, because that's something that me, as someone who, I wouldn't say I'm an expert per se, but someone who's studied and is continuing to study things like body language, social interaction, and things like that, both for my own personal interest as well as my charisma coaching. Body language is really interesting, and I think depending on which statistic you're looking at, it's somewhere between 92 and 94% of all interaction is nonverbal.
Katrina says, Anastasia date requires you to buy a gift before you can talk to anyone. There's a lot of catfishes on there per 90 Day Fiance. Bagels, we have another 90 Day Fiance fan.
Well, you have found more of your people, Bagels. But yeah, with well over 90% of communication between human beings being nonverbal, that does kind of put a snag in actually understanding where people are coming from and what people's intentions are over text. And that's something to keep an eye on. It's where you make your own pen, company and gift pens. Is that what Anastasia Date does?
No.
Like, what? I'm just confused now. All right.
I think Bagel's throwing out some ideas,
some
company ideas.
Oh yeah. But anyway, yeah. So when you have a face-to-face interaction, you have tone of voice, you have their facial expression, you have their body posture, you have their what I call their hip direction. You have all sorts. You have any kind of body motion that you can see. When you're just over the phone, you lose a lot of that. You can usually tell when someone is smiling and has good posture. And I used to tell this when I was mentoring people at a call center, where I was a technical supervisor for a call center for a little while, and I would often tell them, smile more and sit up straight, because they will notice. Because when you smile, when you sit up straight, when you have good body posture, even when you only have your voice, it still comes through in your tonality, it comes through in your timbre, and all sorts of different technical things you could say about your voice. The problem with text is that you lose all of that. So 92 to 94% of your communication is gone. So any intention you had before is much harder to convey, and it's much harder to read. One thing I usually tell people when talking to others, if they find that other people aren't really getting what they're saying, I really encourage, especially these days, I really encourage using more meme language and using more emojis, and possibly using memes themselves if possible, because, long story short, again, this is going in the book, but the short version is memes convey a lot of important information, all based around the context of the conversation and the context of the meme. And emojis can also help because they're kind of a substitute for body language. So using emojis more, using memes and GIFs more when you're talking to people is one really good way to kind of help your own lack of quote-unquote body language in text.
Yeah, and for instance, here's one that I'd say all women can agree with me on this one. Just the letter K.
K.
That stops a whole conversation. That pretty much ends the conversation. Or, yep. Or, oh, cool. Or, nice. Mm-hmm. Any short... If someone's, trying to get to know you, like, let's say I'm texting Josh and he's telling me about something he's really passionate about, and I'm like, oh, nice. Cool. That's great. Okay. That pretty much shows Josh that I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to, really, make this clear. Like, if you're not interested in someone, don't be afraid to say it. Like, come out and say it. You're not wasting anyone's time. You're actually, if you're not making any connection, don't be afraid to say, hey, I don't think this is working out. Like, I thought I was seeing the connection and I'm not. Yeah, it might sting for them a little bit, but, you just have to do it.
The sting of truth doesn't last nearly as long as the pain of not knowing.
Exactly.
I mean, to quote, well, it's not going to be a quote because I can't remember the exact quote, but essentially, the greatest of all human fears is fear itself. The fear of the unknown. That's what it is. The greatest of all human fears is fear of the unknown. which is an approximation of what I'm remembering from H.P. Lovecraft. Which I actually, come to think of it, I do kind of want to do, this idea just came to me, but I do kind of want to like read through like H.P. Lovecraft like this October for the YouTube channel. I think that'd be fun.
That's cool. But yeah, when it came to, you know, having conversation with Josh, what really stood out for me when he was the one that messaged me first on the
I
page,
did message you first.
Yeah.
And I was a little tricksy at first, to be honest. So I will admit I do have some training in hypnotic language patterns, neurolinguistic programming, all that kind of stuff. So I was kind of trying it out to see if it helped. But the moment I realized that I was like really into her, I made an active effort not to do that anymore during the conversation, just to make sure that she was actually interested in me and I wasn't being kind of tricksy. But I think the first message I sent you was, I mean, it's essentially using one of the greatest superpowers you can ever have in any communication of any type, whether it's flirting, getting to know someone, talking to a business partner, any kind of communication. One of the number one things you can use is active listening. And what I did was a version of active listening that some people in the NLP world called echo technique. It's just a fancy word to make it sound like you're doing something super cool, but all you're doing is active listening. You are using their own words and their own ideas in a sentence or in a paragraph or whatever. You're just repeating their own words back to them. So I made some kind of like joke out of a few different things I found on her profile that I also enjoyed.
Yeah, so basically on my profile I actually have like a little blurb of it when it's still in my notepad because I would just update it every now and then, just pop it on all my apps that I had. I put that I love music. Music is a big passion, especially of the emo variety. I'm still stuck in my MySpace age of music. I'm actually part of the music scene here in Texas. My roommate is part of a unmetal band called 13. I will put that out there.
Shout out.
Yeah, 13 Unmetal is their YouTube page, and I know that they have a podcast that's coming out of all the band members, and you know, we'll probably put that down in the description as well.
Yeah.
Check out 13. They're really good. They're amazing.
I might actually have their lead singer on at some point because I did have an interview. I don't know if you saw this episode of the Social Otaku, but will we have a voice chat session after this TSO? I think we should be able to, hopefully.
Yeah, we can do that.
We should be able to hop onto the Discord.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have done interviews with musicians and see how the music helps the musician. I think last time we did it with how it helps him, as well as how through his music he was trying to help other people who were having trouble with mental health. So I might actually pose that to 13 and see if they'd be willing to come on a future episode of the Social Otaku.
And they're a great group of guys. They're goofy. They're so sweet. They will always, you can always approach them at any show and they will talk to you. They will talk your head off. They're super sweet. Me and the lead singer's girlfriend, we are she's a social media manager and merch coordinator. I am just a merch slinger. I sell the shirts. I kind of go out and I'm at the tables, you know, be like, hey, come buy shirts, come buy merch. Right now we're working on ideas of some new stuff, and I know that they got some ideas, haven't told us yet, but we'll know at some point.
Yeah. But
yeah, right now 13 Unmetal. You can see them on Spotify as well, but there's a kind of a, I guess, a mishap. When you search them, you need to it's not the Russian band of 13. It's just you see a man in a white mask with 13 on his face. That is 13. Yeah.
Cool. I would love to listen to 13. Yeah. Like she said, find them on Spotify. Just make sure they're not the Russian band. Make sure it's the one with the guy in the white mask with 13 on it.
Yeah, and if you want to go ahead and type 13 unmetal, that's
Roman numerals.
Roman numerals. Okay. Yep. And give King that.
So that's going in all the chats. So it's called 13 unmetal. That's with Roman numerals and then unmetal. So if you want to give them a listen, I really like their music personally. Yeah. And I was just introduced to them recently through Sierra.
Yeah, and we're all in character. Everyone wears a persona. They wear a mask. I wear a mask right now. I'm working on mine. We'll have a new album release in the fall, so I'll have mine kind of my whole outfit and everything prepared. My character doesn't talk. I actually like to haunt and scare fans and do do some really creepy things. I try not to get in anyone's personal bubble, especially, but I love doing that stuff. It's really fun.
So yeah, before we move on, I just want to ask, does anyone currently watching, does anyone have any questions so far or something they'd like to know more about?
Yeah, this would be the time to answer some questions.
As you can tell, we've already been interacting with everyone, but I just want to open up the floor a little bit. Oh, Bagel says, I pretty much just listen to J-pop and historical folk songs and a lot of nightcore. That's fair. I also listen to quite a bit of J-pop and nightcore. Although myself, I don't really have a single genre I listen to the most. I just get on bends where I'm listening to a lot of lo-fi right now, or I'm listening to a lot of J-rock right now, or a lot of folk metal, or, you know. I would vote for the College Humor Catfish skip. Let me see. Let me just check some settings on my computer first.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we can hear it without it echoing on the microphone. Okay, I think it'll work, but y'all just let me know if y'all just let me know if there's an echo when we get it started. College Humor Catfish. How do I stay relaxed for a long time? King, so I know that's kind of related to some of the things that we've been talking about in our coaching sessions. What I would say is find something that relaxes you. Get used to that. Get used to that body posture and physiology. So once you notice what you feel like and how you feel when you're relaxed, you can then literally put yourself in that position. So if you want to relax more, just remember what it's like to be relaxed. Take on that body posture and that physiology, and it will start to relax you more. And that should help you stay in more control of your own relaxation.
That's really good. That's really good. For me, when it comes to relaxation, I'm more of a fidgeter, so I like playing with things with my hands, like slimes or little like drumsticks, playing drumsticks. Just anything I can get my hands on really calms me down.
Similar with me, although mine's more of an ADHD kind of thing. With my let me see. Just trying to get this display capture set up.
And I don't know if King got to hear, if you have Facebook, we do have a Social Otaku Facebook group. If you want to reach out to us, feel free, and we can add you to that Facebook group so you can get updates.
Yeah. So just for everyone who's watching this who's on my Discord, we do have a Facebook group. Everyone who's watching this who's not on the Discord, there is a Discord. You can be on one, the other, or both. I do not mind, although I'm probably going to be most active on the Discord, but both I and Sierra should be at least somewhat active on both. And Bagel says, "That's my secret, Captain. That's my secret, Cap. I'm always relaxed." Which, yeah, let me just make sure I can. Yeah, I cannot hear that for some reason.
Oh, and did you want to tell them before we start about TikTok? You're looking in
Oh,
the
yeah,
TikTok.
so, Bagels, don't hate me. I have actually been thinking of starting up a TikTok, and I was thinking of, after this podcast, probably slightly before we get on, either slightly before or slightly after we finish up this podcast, I was going to make my first TikTok video about socializing during quarantine. But I'll be doing more of that, and then I'll be putting them into little compilations for the YouTube channel, probably like once a month or something. I haven't logged on to Facebook for like 9 years.
Not the TikTok, no!
But yeah, we can't hear it for some reason, and I figured this might be the case. Yeah, so you can hear it on the desktop audio. Let me just see. It's audio properties. Well, no, that's not going to help. I'm going to say no, because OBS is being an asshole. So...
The language.
Oh, I know. I try not to swear on these more serious podcasts, but...
Everyone give me a round of applause, because Josh knows me. I cuss left and right. He's learning more words than ever when it comes to me.
Yeah, Bagels, I know y'all can hear it. We can't. It's not...
Yeah, we can't hear it.
Actually...
I wish there was a little in this. Oh.
Can you grab your headphones?
I can.
I think I might know why we can't hear it.
It might be over there. I'm kind of... If I move, our setup will crash and crumble. They're like over there. Yeah.
Okay. We'll do a reaction to College Humor catfishing at some point. We'll probably just record it and then put it up eventually.
And speaking of the social media dating and the horror stories, Josh has a distress narrator with me that's going to be coming out here pretty soon.
Yep. So I will be finishing that up either tonight or tomorrow, although that will be for patrons only. So if you are not a patron yet, well, you get early access to all of our videos on the Josh and the Shell channel. So look forward to that.
Bagel says I should learn a Russian curse words. I think it would be hilarious. I'm actually trying to learn Spanish at the moment, because I am biracial, so I am half Caucasian, half Ecuadorian, so I'm half Spanish, and I've never got to learn Spanish all my life, and Josh thinks it's humorous because I can't roll my R's at all, so my Spanish is very...
Yeah, so saying things like mierda.
Yeah, so that just...
Yeah, that's not going to work. Although, by the way, that was a swear word.
Oh, was it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so... I did German. I know a little bit of German. Russian is a little bit too advanced for me. I'm going to need to...
I will teach you one swear word in Russian just real quick right now. Probably the one that he's wanting you to know.
Okay.
Suka biat.
Yeah, no.
Sukabiet. I really want to buy one of those Sukabiet hats. I just want a hat with that on it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Pewd sells them.
I would just butcher that. And
also, swearing is another video essay that I'm going to be making at some point. I have so many plans for these, but I actually need to find the time to sit down. And, aha! Restream says we have received 100 messages. So, hooray.
Yay.
You've all been a very active audience, all 5 of you. I love you.
I love it.
But yeah, was there anything else we wanted to cover in that? I can't remember.
No, that's about it. I just want to thank everybody. This is my first time doing podcasts in general, so thanks for coming out and joining us today. Yeah. I'll be on more, so probably I'm gonna learn as I go.
Yeah, so for a lot of the up and coming Social Otaku episodes, she will be my co-host. Since Elliot is no longer able to come because he is busy as hell, although he might be a little less busy now that the world is ending and he can't play at venues.
Yeah, and also too, with our Facebook group, he said that you can reach out to him.
Yes.
And he will respond.
Yeah, Elliot is the other admin on our Facebook group currently. So yeah, I just let me go ahead and change over to the subscribe screen at this point. So thank you so much for stopping by. Again, if you want me to be able to spend more time doing these and less time doing other work, my Patreon and my Teespring store and Streamlabs and all that kind of stuff are probably your best ways to do that. You can also hire me as a charisma coach or a voice actor. So if you feel like you need coaching or someone you know needs coaching and a lot of help, or even just a little bit of help in improving your dating, improving your social skills, improving your sales, for all I know, I am definitely here to help. And please give us a like, give us a subscribe, join our Discord or our Facebook community. All relevant links, of course, are in the description.
Yep, and my stuff will be in the description as well. You can join me at my YouTube at WhatSierraStreams. I'll be game streaming. That's usually what I do. I'm going to be doing more stuff of my favorite varieties, but gaming. If there's any females out there, anyone who loves special effects, cosmetics, and makeup, I'll be doing more of those tutorials probably in the next couple months. Yeah.
Yeah, so just to, yeah, I'm sorry. OBS is being a bitch, Bagels. So, yeah. I see why we're a little quiet at the moment. But, yeah, so, thanks for letting us know. I wish I had caught that a little bit sooner, but, yeah. Thank you so much. Links in the description. Like and subscribe. Dab.
Ooh, dab on him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you dabbed.
All right. We will talk to you on Discord for a little while, and talk to you next time.
Bye.